What does this week mean to the team facing a rival like Washington?
I feel like it's another week. We've been playing so long, and now a lot of guys are more mature. We're able to just really cut out all the noise and realize that we still got to go 1-0 on the day.
Speaking of noise, college football playoff rankings come out in a few hours. Is that kind of the same approach? You just block out the noise?
We've talked about a lot that like every team at this point kind of holds their own destiny. So as long as we just keep going 1-0, I feel like it'll be out of our hands at that point.
We've seen at points during the game against Colorado, they tried to stray away from your defensive line. How do you evaluate a game like that where a lot of screen passes, a lot of quick outs where you can't really get a pass rush?
That's good coaching. If I was a coach and I was going against myself, I wouldn't let me get a play either. So one up to them, and on to the next.
What do you expect in this? Same thing with Washington, or a little different?
They have a different scheme. They're a different football team, so I wouldn't say it'd be the same thing, but it'll be fun to see how they kind of change it up to address the situation.
We talked even back in Pac-12 media day about getting if you were coaching against you, you'd throw double teams and all that. I'm sure you just asked about a little bit about, but Colorado did a lot of things schematically to try and neutralize you as best as they could. What is that like mentally to handle in a game?
It's okay. It does take kind of the fun away from the game because it's hard to really get going, but just being able to know that I have teammates that can make up for it and that will, come out and make the play, it's fine. It is what it is.
How much, if the sack isn't there, how much pride do you take in 0 for 5 on 3rd and 9 plus?
For me, it's all about winning the rep. So, looking at the grand scheme, once we break down film, you can be satisfied with what you did. But in the moment, as long as I kind of do my job and I do the best of my ability, I'm fine with it.
To this week, what have you seen from? I know Kirkland. I want to say his number is I think like 78, but I think he's been out the past couple of weeks. So what have you seen from 55? Their left tackle has been playing the last couple of games.
They've been playing really well. We're really dissecting them. I think the scheme really allows the offensive tackles to play to their best. But they do a lot of stuff on offense, which kind of gets guys in bad eye position and bad technique. So just being able to really focus on us and still use what they do and how we do it to our advantage.
What is their tight end, 87? What does he do differently in that capacity than? You face a lot of tight ends on the end and all that kind of stuff. This past week, they threw a bunch of 12 at you. What does Otten do?
To me, I can tell he's really smart. A lot of guys, when they play certain positions, they like to think a lot, but he's a person that can really go and fly around. So him being able to really know what's going on, know the defenses, know who he's going to get and where he's going to be, allows him to really play to the best of his ability.
You made your recruiting visit during the Oregon-Washington game back in 2018. How much did that instruct what this rivalry means, and how much did you take away from that experience?
Just seeing the atmosphere and the kind of like that relentless passion that they had to win the overtime, and they just kept fighting. So knowing that that's what they did before us, we just got to keep one-upping it and keep it going.
I feel like Popo and Jason Jones have taken some strides this season. Where have you seen the growth from them, and how do you feel like you guys are working in tandem?
They have done really well just up front, working with different coaches and doing, what they need to do to really get better. I feel like as long as we just keep growing as a unit and really having that camaraderie and that, what do you want to call it, the team morale, we'll be able to really step up as a front and be able to really shut it down.
Where have you seen the most growth with Jeffrey moving positions, obviously?
Bassett?
Yeah.
He's becoming real confident. He knows his holes. At first, when he first started, he was kind of overrunning it. Being a safety DB, you have to be faster to the ball. But once you're kind of up front, you can let it eat and you can kind of flow back to it. So he's getting really comfortable with that and just being able to read the gaps and play off the offensive lineman.
What's unique about this running back 5 for them? What's unique about him in particular?
He got strong legs. He likes to run. He likes contact. And again, the scheme allows the offensive lineman to kind of get in certain positions. And once he sees the hole, he goes. So we're going to have to tackle through the thigh boards. We're going to have to kind of bring our hard hat and really fit up front.
You're focused on the here and now, but you're obviously very conscious of the future. So what does it mean to you when the Lions and Texans general managers are at a game?
I don't notice until the end, until it's over. So just being able to see, that was the scenario during the game, and I kind of like to reflect on how I carry myself, and what ways can I improve on the man I'm being or the man I'm perceived to be. So it's pretty good. I'm happy that I was able to, make certain plays and do certain things in that game, and we just got to keep pushing.
Obviously, you talk about just the 1-0 approach and everything like that, but what makes this rivalry against Washington just a little bit different than some of the other games you played in?
Just being there. knowing that there's real hate in people's hearts for this game and for us. So just being able to go there and kind of quiet down the crowd and really be able to play and really put it out there, you kind of feel it. That's kind of like why we play, for the rivalries, for the big game. So, just being able to show what we got and put up a fight is going to be fun.
How have you learned? You mentioned the real hate and animosity between the two schools. How did you? Was it just that 18 game that taught you that, or how have you kind of learned what this game means?
Just 18 and then 19 when we went there. It was like, you see the duck being thrown around, ripped up. You see the crowd yelling, dropping bombs on us and this and that. And then the real, the shots after the play and different things to try to get you to make mental mistakes. And you realize as you get older that, like, it's not about what you do outside the whistle and outside the game. It's about, what happens between the whistles. So just being able to control that and really play to the hype of the game, really live up to the moment is the best part about it.
What do you tell some of the younger guys on the team that haven't experienced this, especially not playing this rivalry game last year?
To stay level-headed, stay poised, never get too high, never get too low. They're gonna make plays, but we got to really be able to retaliate and be able to go to the next play and have that next play mentality.
How important in these types of games, especially on the road, is it to not let your emotions get too high, or do you want your guys to be fiery, show emotion in these types of games?
Well, me personally, I'm not a guy who needs to play with anger or rage or loudness. I like to stay poised. I like to stay calm. So for me, I like to tell guys, get hype when you need to, but be able to breathe and be able to think and be able to process what's going on in front of you so that you're not just playing off raw emotion. You can kind of fine-tune it and you know how to really work it.
Is there another guy on the team or a couple guys who you think do a really good job of that?
Verone, he does a great job. Jeffrey, he's really done a great job just echoing it and kind of being that leader that we need to step up and kind of take control. And Noah, obviously, he's the guy who really lays it out on the field. So just seeing his passion and being able to match that just, brings it all together.
You guys improved a lot on third down defense against Colorado this past week. What do you think's been kind of key for you guys to do that? How are you approaching those big situations?
I think our secondary, they do a really good job. Coach Yates and all supporting staff, they do a great job with the upcoming week and knowing what they do. Seeing the different routes and different concepts. Even with the outside linebackers, getting in with them and learning the different concepts and the routes and what to expect. We can call it out before it happens. So that really prepares us for, the task at hand. All righty.